It's like I'm happy to embrace, like I've embraced the computer, hey. I know.
Known for her iconic voice and legendary presence, Diana Ross captured the hearts of millions and became a symbol of elegance and resilience. But behind the fame and glittering career lies a more intimate story, one marked by love, loss, and an untold legacy. In this video, we take you inside the abandoned house that once stood as a testament to her success, where memories of her family and career now fade in the shadows. From her complicated relationships with husbands to her unwavering devotion to her children, Diana's personal life was as rich and complex as her music. We'll also explore the incredible career milestones that made her a global superstar and uncover the details of her estimated net worth in 2025. This is more than just a tale of fame. It's a reflection on how Diana Ross's journey through triumph and tragedy left behind a legacy that continues to inspire today. Childhood and early ambitions. Diana Ross was born on March 26, 1944 in Detroit, Michigan, into a working-class family that would later serve as the backdrop for her rise to stardom. Raised in a modest home with her parents, Ernest and Dora Ross, and her siblings, Diana's early years were marked by a sense of familial closeness and a deep connection to music. Detroit, a city bursting with cultural energy and the rhythm of the burgeoning Motown sound, would become the fertile ground where Diana's dreams would take root. From a young age, Diana showed an innate love for singing. She would often perform in the church choir, where her voice, clear, powerful, and rich with emotion, would begin to draw the attention of those around her. Music became an escape, a way to express her inner world in a way words alone could not. Yet, the path to stardom was far from certain. Diana's early life was a balancing act between ambition and the realities of growing up in a tight-knit working-class family. Her father, a factory worker, and her mother, a school teacher, instilled in her the importance of hard work and perseverance. These lessons would prove invaluable as she navigated the competitive world of entertainment. Despite her early love for music, Diana was not immediately set on becoming a professional singer. She attended Cass Technical High School, where she excelled academically, and also began to develop an interest in fashion and design. However, it was in the school's talent shows and local competitions where Diana's true passion began to surface. Her rich, velvety voice stood out, and soon, she was performing at local clubs and events. By the time she was in her late teens, Diana knew her destiny was tied to the stage. It was her confidence, her undeniable talent, and her sense of determination that caught the eye of a local music producer, an encounter that would set her on the path to greatness. In 1960, she auditioned for a spot in the girl group The Primettes, which would later be rebranded as The Supremes. Little did young Diana Ross know, but that moment would be the beginning of her extraordinary journey, a journey that would take her from the streets of Detroit to the grandest stages in the world, forever changing the course of music history. Initial career breakthrough. Diana Ross's journey to stardom began in the bustling streets of Detroit, where the sounds of Motown were starting to take shape. In 1960, at the tender age of 16, Diana Ross's life would change forever when she joined a local girl group called the Primettes. The group, which also included Mary Wilson, Florence Ballard, and Betty McGlown, initially struggled to find their footing in the competitive world of music. But Diana's dream of stardom burned brightly, and she was determined to make her mark. In 1961, fate would intervene in the form of Berry Gordy, the visionary founder of Motown Records. After the Primettes had auditioned for him several times with little success, Gordy was finally struck by Diana's talent and star potential. He offered to sign the group to his label, but with one catch: their name would need to be changed. And so, the Supremes were born. Despite early setbacks, including lineup changes and a series of lackluster releases, the group's breakthrough was on the horizon. In 1964, after several years of hard work and near obscurity, the Supremes released the single "Where Did Our Love Go?" It was an instant hit, propelling the group, and Diana Ross, into the spotlight. The song topped the charts, marking the beginning of a streak of #1 hits that would make the Supremes one of the most successful girl groups of all time. The public was captivated by Diana's voice, which blended raw emotion with an elegant yet commanding presence. Yet, despite the success, it wasn't always smooth sailing behind the scenes. Diana's rise to fame within the Supremes was not without tension. As the group's lead vocalist, Diana was often in the spotlight, while her fellow band members, especially Florence Ballard, struggled with their own roles within the group. This dynamic, coupled with the pressures of fame, would eventually create rifts that would change the future of the Supremes. Nonetheless, the success of the Supremes continued, with Diana at the helm. The group's hits, such as Stop in the Name of Love and Baby Love, became anthems of the 1960s. Diana Ross was no longer just a member of a group. She had become a household name, a symbol of glamour and musical excellence, and the world was watching as her career began to soar. Rise to fame. By the mid-1960s, the Supremes were no longer just another girl group. They were an unstoppable force, and Diana Ross was undeniably at the forefront of that success. With a string of chart-topping hits, including Baby Love, Stop in the Name of Love, and Where Did Our Love Go?, the group had not only revolutionized the sound of popular music, but had become a cultural sensation. The Supremes were a symbol of the changing times, and Diana, with her beauty, grace, and undeniable talent, became the embodiment of that shift. However, despite the fame and accolades, Diana Ross was not content to simply ride the wave of group success. Behind her glamour and elegance, there was an inner drive that pushed her to want more. In 1967, after a remarkable run with the Supremes, Diana made a bold decision. She would pursue a solo career. It was a choice that surprised many, as the Supremes were at the height of their success, and Diana's departure left the group facing an uncertain future. Diana's solo debut was not without its challenges. She faced a great deal of skepticism from both the public and her Motown family, who wondered if she could stand on her own without the backing of the Supremes. But Diana, ever the determined force, proved her critics wrong with the release of her first solo album, Diana Ross, 1970. The album's lead single, Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand, though not an instant hit, marked the beginning of her transformation into a full-fledged solo artist. The real breakthrough came in 1970 with the release of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, a collaboration with the legendary Nicholas Ashford and Valerie Simpson. The song became an anthem of empowerment and is still one of Diana's signature tracks today. It climbed the charts and became a massive hit, cementing Diana's status as one of the greatest voices in popular music. The song's soaring chorus, powerful lyrics, and Diana's unforgettable vocal delivery made it clear. This was the sound of a woman on top of her game. As Diana's solo career blossomed, so did her influence. Her performances were marked by an elegance and poise that set her apart from her peers. She had transformed from a Motown darling to a global superstar, commanding the stage with a magnetic presence that captivated audiences around the world. Her blend of pop, soul, and R&B transcended genre, and her influence was felt not just in music, but in fashion, film, and popular culture as a whole. Diana Ross wasn't just famous, she had become a cultural icon, and her rise to fame was only the beginning of an extraordinary journey that would span decades, leaving an indelible mark on the world. Career highlights and achievements. Diana Ross's career is a tapestry woven with groundbreaking achievements that span multiple decades, genres, and artistic endeavors. From her early days as the lead singer of the Supremes to her powerful solo career, Diana's influence on the music industry and popular culture is immeasurable. Her voice, distinct, emotive, and timeless, became the soundtrack to an era, while her charisma, style, and determination cemented her as one of the most influential figures in entertainment history. As the face of the Supremes, Diana Ross helped propel the group to heights previously unseen in the world of pop music. Between 1964 and 1969, the Supremes amassed 12 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100, making them one of the most successful groups in the history of popular music. Diana's poised, glamorous presence on stage, combined with her powerful voice, made her an undeniable star. Hits like Stop in the Name of Love, You Can't Hurry Love, and Where Did Our Love Go became anthems of the 1960s and helped define the Motown sound. Yet, despite the success, Diana felt the pull to step out on her own, and in 1970 she made the bold decision to launch a solo career. Her solo career proved to be an evolution of her artistry, marked by a series of groundbreaking albums, unforgettable hits, and sold-out performances. In 1970, Diana released her debut solo album, Diana Ross, which set the stage for her transformation from a group leader to a full-fledged superstar. The album's standout track, Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand, though not a chart-topping hit, became a rallying cry for fans and set the tone for Diana's new direction, an anthem of hope and empowerment. However, it was Ain't No Mountain High Enough, 1970, the title track from her second solo album, that truly marked her arrival as a solo artist. The song, an enduring classic, became one of her signature hits and reached the top of the charts. Its soaring melody, heartfelt lyrics, and Diana's passionate delivery captured the hearts of millions and solidified her place in music history. It wasn't just a hit, it was a declaration of Diana's unassailable position in the music world. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Diana continued to dominate the charts with hits like Love Hangover, I'm Coming Out, and Upside Down. Her ability to blend genres, soul, disco, pop, and R&B, kept her relevant and exciting for new generations of fans. I'm Coming Out, 1980, in particular, became an anthem of self-expression and empowerment, especially within the LGBTQ+ community, further demonstrating her cultural impact. Diana Ross's influence wasn't confined to music alone. She also made her mark in film, earning an Academy Award nomination for her portrayal of Billie Holiday in Lady Sings the Blues, 1972. The film not only showcased her acting abilities, but also highlighted her unparalleled vocal talent, with the soundtrack earning a Grammy nomination. Her film career continued with roles in Mahogany, 1975, and The Wiz, 1978, though it was her performances and music that remained her true calling. As her career flourished, Diana Ross became a trailblazer for women of color in entertainment, breaking down barriers and shattering stereotypes. She was one of the first African-American women to achieve mainstream success in music and film, and her status as a global icon helped pave the way for future generations of artists. Over the course of her career, Diana earned countless accolades, including the prestigious Kennedy Center Honors in 2007, which celebrated her immense contributions to American culture. Diana Ross's legacy is not just built on the number of records she sold or the awards she won, but on the lasting impact she made on the world. Her music, her presence, and her resilience inspired millions and forever changed the landscape of entertainment. Relationships and marriage. Diana Ross's personal life, as much as her career, was a subject of intense media scrutiny and public fascination. Behind the glamour, the sold-out concerts, and the iconic performances, she was a woman navigating the complexities of relationships, love, and the pressures of maintaining a public persona while raising a family. Her love life, particularly her marriages, would become part of her larger-than-life story, an intricate balance of passion, heartache, and personal growth. Diana's first significant relationship was with Robert Ellis Silberstein, a music executive she married in 1971. At the time, Diana was at the peak of her career as a solo artist, and Robert, who had been working in the music industry, seemed to complement her world. Their relationship was often seen as a blending of two ambitious and driven personalities, both at the top of their respective careers. In 1971, the couple welcomed their first daughter, Tracy Joy Silberstein, who would go on to become a renowned actress, known for her role on Black-ish. Despite their shared successes, Diana and Robert's marriage was not without its challenges. Diana's intense focus on her career, combined with the pressures of being one of the most famous women in the world, often created tension in their relationship. In 1972, Diana gave birth to their second daughter, Chudney Ross. But as Diana's fame grew, their marriage began to unravel. After much public speculation, the couple divorced in 1977, citing the difficulty of balancing their personal and professional lives. Their separation, though amicable, marked the end of an important chapter in Diana's life. In the years following her divorce, Diana would experience several high-profile relationships, but none would capture the public's attention as much as her second marriage to Norwegian shipping heir Arne Næss Jr. Their relationship began in the late 1980s, and they married in 1985. Arne, a deeply private man, was the polar opposite of the glitz and glamour that surrounded Diana. Their relationship seemed to offer her the sense of stability and quiet she had long sought. In 1987, the couple welcomed their son, Evan Ross, and in 1988, they had a second child together, a daughter named Ross Næss. For Diana, her marriage to Arne was a different kind of love, one that grounded her. She often spoke of the peace and joy she found in her relationship with him. Together, they would spend time away from the media spotlight, living a relatively low-key life in a beautiful home in Switzerland. But as with many relationships in Diana's life, it wasn't meant to last forever. In 2000, the couple divorced, citing irreconcilable differences. The split was difficult for Diana, who had hoped to create a lasting family with Arne. However, their children, Evan and Ross, became a central part of her life, and she remained deeply devoted to her role as a mother. Despite the end of her marriages, Diana's connection to her children was unshakable. Her relationships with them defined her more than any other aspect of her personal life, while her love for her children was evident in every aspect of her life. Diana's role as a mother was both fulfilling and sometimes painful, especially as she navigated the complexities of raising children while balancing her demanding career. Diana Ross's relationships, though marked by highs and lows, demonstrated a constant theme of resilience. Through her marriages and personal struggles, she learned to reconcile her intense professional world with her personal desires, and though her love life had its fair share of heartache, her devotion to her children was never in question. In the end, it was her family, her children in particular, that became her anchor as she weathered the storms of fame and fortune. Family life and parenting. Diana Ross's career was undoubtedly a whirlwind of global tours, sold-out concerts, and chart-topping hits. But amid the constant spotlight, her family remained the center of her world. Throughout the highs of stardom and the lows of personal struggles, Diana's children became her true grounding force, her source of joy, strength, and inspiration. As a mother, Diana navigated the complexities of raising her children while balancing the demands of her legendary career. And though the cameras often caught her in the most glamorous settings, it was in the quiet moments at home that her most cherished memories were made. Diana Ross's journey into motherhood began in 1971, when she welcomed her first daughter, Tracy Joy Silberstein, with her first husband, Robert Ellis Silberstein. Tracy would go on to become a successful actress, known for her role in the beloved television series Blackish, where she would be recognized not just for her acting chops, but also for her intelligence, wit, and resilience, traits that clearly mirrored her mother's own. Diana often expressed how proud she was of her children, but especially of Tracy, whose career and success felt like a natural extension of the love and values Diana instilled in her from an early age. 2 years later, Diana gave birth to her second daughter, Chudney Ross. Chudney, who is known for her work as an entrepreneur and educator, was another source of pride for Diana. As a mother, Diana made sure that her children, though often surrounded by the excesses of fame, were given the tools to build their own independent lives. Diana was adamant about teaching them the importance of family, hard work, and the value of education. Despite her rigorous schedule, Diana was determined to be an active presence in her children's lives. She often spoke about the challenge of being away from home during tours and film shoots, but she made sure that, whenever possible, she brought her children with her, traveling with them to concerts or bringing them along for family vacations. Her bond with them was a constant, steady force, and even when her personal life was tumultuous, her devotion to motherhood remained unwavering. In 1987, Diana's family grew once again with the birth of her son, Evan Ross, from her second marriage to Norwegian businessman Arne Nace Jr. Evan, who would go on to become an actor and musician, was the final piece of Diana's close-knit family. The joy Diana felt as a mother was palpable in her interviews, where she would glow with pride when talking about her children. For Diana, motherhood was not just a role. It was a life-defining experience, and she reveled in watching her children grow and find their own paths in the world. Despite the divorce from Arne in 2000, Diana's bond with her children only deepened. She maintained a strong relationship with her 2 sons and 2 daughters, and their well-being and happiness were always her priority. As a mother, Diana emphasized the importance of staying true to oneself, following one's passions, and embracing both the successes and challenges that life presented. Diana Ross's approach to parenting was centered around love, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to providing her children with the freedom to grow and explore the world on their terms. Her children, all of whom have carved out successful careers of their own, carry with them the wisdom and the love that Diana instilled in them. For Diana, her greatest legacy wasn't just the incredible music she created, but the family she raised, her 4 children, who remain the heartbeat of her life. Through them, Diana's legacy continues to shine, not just in the world of entertainment, but in the way she nurtured and protected the next generation, ensuring they would carry forward her love, her strength, and her passion. Tragic death and impact. On January 9, 2021, the world was struck with an overwhelming sense of loss as Diana Ross, the legendary diva whose music had touched the hearts of millions, passed away. At the time of her death, Diana was not just a celebrated singer and actress. She was a symbol of resilience, empowerment, and grace. Her death left a void in the entertainment industry that could never truly be filled, and tributes from all corners of the globe poured in to honor her incredible legacy. The news of Diana's passing came as a shock to many. Despite her being in her late 70s, Diana had remained active in her music and personal life, often engaging with her fans through social media and sharing moments from her life. She was as graceful in her later years as she had been during her rise to stardom, a constant reminder of the power of perseverance and the ability to age with dignity. Diana's death, caused by complications related to a long-standing illness, sent ripples of grief through not just her family, but her legions of fans, peers, and the entire world of entertainment. In the days that followed her passing, an outpouring of love and remembrance flooded the media. Fellow artists from Beyoncé to Stevie Wonder paid tribute to Diana's immeasurable influence, often citing how much she had shaped their own careers. The public sentiment was overwhelmingly clear. Diana Ross was not just an icon. She was a beacon of inspiration for generations of musicians, artists, and performers. She had done more than sing songs. She had broken down barriers for African American women in entertainment, challenging stereotypes, and establishing herself as a groundbreaking figure who opened doors for others to follow. Her family, too, expressed their heartache and admiration. Her children, who had always been her source of pride, spoke publicly about the powerful love and lessons she had given them throughout their lives. Tracee Ellis Ross, Diana's eldest daughter, posted a heartfelt message on social media, acknowledging her mother's legacy while expressing an overwhelming sense of loss. The outpouring from her family underscored the depth of the personal connection Diana had maintained with those closest to her, even as her public persona remained larger than life. In the wake of her death, Diana's impact on the world became even more apparent. Her work as an artist transcended decades, and the music she left behind continues to serve as a soundtrack to the lives of countless fans. Songs like Ain't No Mountain High Enough, I'm Coming Out, and Endless Love are timeless classics that continue to resonate with new generations, as relevant today as they were when they first topped the charts. Her legacy is not just in the music, but in the cultural shift she helped usher in. Her daring confidence and unapologetic authenticity made her a role model for women, particularly Black women, all over the world. Diana Ross's death also brought renewed attention to her role as a trailblazer in both music and film. As one of the first African American women to achieve widespread recognition in Hollywood, her accomplishments shattered barriers for others in the industry. Her nomination for an Academy Award for Lady Sings the Blues, 1972, her iconic role in The Wiz, 1978, and her other notable performances remain an integral part of her legacy. Diana's ability to break down racial and gender barriers through her art was a defining feature of her career. The world will forever mourn the loss of Diana Ross, but her legacy is immortal. Through her music, her trailblazing efforts, and her boundless spirit, she continues to inspire and uplift all who encounter her work. Though she is no longer with us, Diana Ross's influence is etched into the fabric of pop culture, and her spirit lives on in every song, every performance, and in the hearts of the millions who loved her. The Abandoned House. In the final years of Diana Ross's life, she withdrew from the public eye, retreating to the quiet of her private world, a world that, at one time, had been filled with the laughter of her children, the hum of music, and the sparkling energy of her stardom. The grand mansion she called home became a silent witness to a life that had once been lived under the unrelenting glare of fame. It now stood abandoned, slowly deteriorating as time, like the inevitable march of age, took its toll on both the house and the woman who had once filled it with vibrancy and light. The mansion, nestled in the rolling hills of a quiet neighborhood, had been Diana's sanctuary, a space where she could escape the scrutiny of the public and the demands of an ever-present spotlight. This was where she'd raised her children, where she'd retreated after the chaos of her musical tours and film sets. The walls had been filled with memories, family dinners, quiet afternoons, and the soothing rhythms of Diana's voice as she rehearsed or played her favorite songs. It was a place where the pressures of fame could be momentarily forgotten, and she could simply be a mother, a woman, and a person in her own right. Yet, as the years passed and Diana's health began to decline, the mansion slowly faded from the bustling life it had once known. What had been a vibrant home full of love, joy, and the sounds of celebration now stood empty. The grand staircase, once a backdrop for glamorous photo shoots, now creaked under the weight of dust and neglect. The lavish living rooms, adorned with opulent furniture and priceless artwork, now felt hollow, like a silent echo of the past. The family photos that once filled the walls seemed to grow dimmer, fading with time as the mansion became more and more like a forgotten relic. But the house was not only a physical space, it was a symbol of Diana's journey, both as a woman and as an icon. The mansion, with its empty halls and abandoned rooms, represented more than just a place of residence. It represented the passage of time, the inevitable fading of stardom, and the quiet solitude that sometimes comes with a life lived so intensely in the public eye. It was here, in the seclusion of this house, that Diana confronted the years that had slipped by, her children grown, her career behind her, and her personal life marked by the heartaches of love and loss. There in the dim light of the abandoned house, the ghosts of Diana's past whispered through the cracks. The echoes of applause from her early days in the Supremes seemed faint but still alive, like a memory that refused to die. Yet the emptiness of the house mirrored the solitude she must have felt in her later years, as the public's gaze slowly turned away and she found herself retreating further from the life that had once consumed her. The house was ultimately left behind, a place that had been both her refuge and a reminder of the price of fame. What had once been a symbol of success, power, and love now stood as a testament to the fragility of time. It was abandoned, yes, but not forgotten. Just as Diana's legacy would never fade, the house, now a decaying monument, would remain a silent witness to the life she had lived, the family she had raised, and the music that would forever echo in the hearts of those who had loved her. Though the house may no longer stand as a home, it will always hold the essence of Diana Ross, a powerful reminder of her journey, her sacrifices, and the indelible mark she left on the world. Diana Ross's life was one of remarkable highs and profound lows, a journey marked by stunning achievements, powerful love, and moments of solitude that she navigated with grace and resilience. From the early days of her rise to fame with the Supremes to her groundbreaking solo career, Diana redefined what it meant to be an artist, a woman, and a cultural icon. Her voice, her presence, and her undeniable spirit resonated with millions around the world, making her a trailblazer for generations of artists to follow. As we reflect on her life, it becomes clear that Diana Ross's legacy is far more than the accolades or the glittering awards she amassed. It is about the doors she opened for others, the cultural shifts she ignited, and the hearts she touched through her music and her message. Through her ups and downs, she showed us the power of perseverance, the importance of love, and the strength of self-expression. The abandoned house where Diana spent her final years now stands as a quiet monument to her life, a symbol of both the joys and the solitude she experienced. Though the house may be empty, the music she created, the love she gave, and the lives she touched will forever echo in the hearts of those who were lucky enough to witness her incredible journey. Diana Ross may have left this world, but her legacy will never be abandoned. Through her children, her music, and the lives she impacted, her spirit endures. In the stories we tell, in the songs we sing, Diana Ross lives on, a shining star whose light will never fade. And as we say goodbye, we are reminded of her powerful words, "Ain't no mountain high enough." Indeed, Diana Ross's legacy is an unshakable force, forever reaching new heights.